Hello again everyone, and yes, this is Wrestling Showdown here on the W3L network. We are in February, which means we are getting so close to our next set of live events brought to you by our friends over at Crafty Connoisseur. Now, I've told you the dates, I've told you what's happening, but let me go over it one more time. And I'll probably go over it again next week and next week, just so that you know what you're about to see and when you're going to see it. And it all kicks off on February the 23rd. It's in Dunfermline. Cushies are co-sponsoring the event, thank you to them. And it is Remedy. And Remedy is always a major event in W3L, and this will be no exception. The main event sees tenacious Johnny Lyons defend the W3L Heavyweight Championship against the Exile Luke Aldridge. Last week I told you that the Wrestling Showdown title is on the line. Dickie Divers defends against former tag team partner Taylor Bryden. And I can also tell you that as we talk about titles, that Emily Hayden will be defending the Women's Championship at Remedy against the woman that she defeated to win it, that being Jayla Dark. 3 matches already announced for Remedy. If they don't convince you to buy a ticket, I don't know what will. The following day we hit Linlithgow. We'll get every bit of the Remedy fallout. We will see Johnny Lyons take on Dickie Divers. If either man is still champion, that title will be on the line. But if both men are still champions, we'll hold a coin toss to decide just which title will be up for grabs in Linlithgow. And when you talk about titles up for grabs in Linlithgow, TJ Rage and Krieger will defend the Tag Team Championship against the combination of the very good Mr. UNG Mackey and Tim Wiley. Then, it's March the 3rd, we hit Galashiels with our friends at the Border Boogie and Karaoke Bus. The only way to travel on the borders, ladies and gentlemen. We've already announced that Johnny Lyons takes on the very good Mr. UNG Mackey, and I can tell you that we will have the return of the Galashiels Cup tournament. Already entered into that are Luke Aldridge and Mike Musso. So that's well worth getting your hands on tickets for all those events. I'll tell you how in just a bit. But before we get to that, let's have this week's match. Now, last week's match saw Dickie Divers successfully retain the Wrestling Showdown Championship. He went to attack Kai Balfour with a chair afterwards, but Taylor Bryden made the save. Bryden and Divers are on a collision course and is going to end up at Remedy. So this week it's Taylor Bryden. He's looking to get momentum. He's looking to stamp his authority all over W3L as he heads towards Remedy, Dickie Divers and the Showdown Championship. He's taking on a newcomer to W3L in the form of Darrell Costello. Can this newcomer pull off an upset by defeating Taylor Bryden? Or is Bryden going to show Divers just what he's got in store from in Dunfermline? Let's find out by going down to ringside for this week's match.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a singles contest set for 1 fall. Introducing first, from Whistle, weight 75 kilograms, Darrell Costello. And his opponent, he is from the Kingdom of Fife and weighs 180 pounds, Taylor Bryden.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Fordyce here with you on Wrestling Showdown, and we are on the run up to Remedy. In 20 days time it happens in Dunfermline, and one of the matches that everybody's looking forward to, and that man in the grey singlet is especially looking forward to, is for the Wrestling Showdown Championship. Taylor Bryden's going to be taking on Dickie Divers, and we saw just last week Bryden made the save for Kai Balfour as Divers was going to apparently smash his head with a steel chair. Bryden came out for the save and Divers hightailed out there. He wanted nothing to do with Bryden. He was attempting to dodge him for most of the year, as to be said. But firstly, Bryden's got to get through Darrell Costello, and this is no tune-up match. This is no like easy ride. Costello, this is admittedly his W3L debut, but he's certainly making waves out in the west of Scotland. From his first match back in May of 2017, so he's wrestling on and off since then. He's not really got his foot in the door really anywhere yet. Of course, there's a good showing here could change that in the Worldwide Wrestling League. this crowd getting on Costello's case with some help from Bryden, but the fact that he used the ropes to escape from that hold, as opposed to maybe trying to reverse it naturally. He's arguing with the crowd here. While Bryden just casually waits. Taylor Bryden's got a wealth of experience. In 2005 he made his debut. So I mean, he's seen it all and done all pretty much, especially here in W3L, but I mean, his whole trajectory in the World Wide Wrestling all changed back in the middle of April of last year. Bryden with a lovely backflip and reverses the wrist lock. It was that tag team match, he and Divers, the contingency plan, taking Mike Moose and Vortex, who lost the match, and Divers attacked Bryden afterwards. Now, that was the last time we saw Taylor Bryden here on Wrestling Showdown. So that's been well over 6 months, over half a year, and to be honest, he's been struggling to find his place in W3L ever since that time, because he was no longer associated with Divers. He was desperate to get his hands on him, and it should be said that they did briefly, which will detail for you in just a moment or two. But the problem is that none of the, shall we call them, the rule breakers, none of them want anything to do with Bryden. He's turned his back on them. Divers has broke up their team, kicked him out, if you like, if you want to describe that, that's how Divers has seen it. And so they want nothing to do with Taylor Bryden. But all of the other wrestlers, what you might call the fan favourites, they don't trust Taylor Bryden. After everything he did as part of the contingency plan over all those years, they do not trust anything he does. And as a consequence, he's been in no man's land. Just Darrell Costello just avoided the arm drag, just a step ahead there. So as a consequence, Bryden's been like a mammoth out of country. And it's, oh, Bryden faked him out, lovely arm drag. And drop kicks him right in the face, and Costello rolling to the floor. Wise move, trying to break the momentum there. So Bryden's been left on his own. He's got no real allies in W3L. And as a consequence, he's been trying to decide really what's best for him. All he knows that he wants Divers, and it's 7 Deadly Sins, which you can of course see on the W3L network. This was last year. He and Divers immediately eliminated each other from the open round battle royal. Then later on in the night, Taylor Bryden was en route to potential victory over Looking Sharp, when suddenly Dickie Divers interfered. He attacked Looking Sharp. Bryden got disqualified, knocked out the tournament. So, I mean, these two men have been at it, but then Divers has rarely ever got in the ring with Bryden. They met at Resolution 12, and Divers immediately gave him a low blow and got disqualified and ran off, as Bryden launched himself off the ring apron. But at Remedy, 20 days time in Dunfermline, they will meet one-on-one with Showdown titles on the line. Finally, they'll hopefully get some resolution to their issues. Bryden will get some much needed revenge on what Divers did, and perhaps bring this to a close as Darrell Costello went for the elbow drop. Again, Bryden's got a huge experience edge over him. And that's not to say that Darrell Costello is not up to scratch, because we've already seen that he is. He obviously has a wealth of potential, and he's making a name for himself now. As, oh, Bryden with a step too slow there. Costello grabbed his foot, Bryden repositioning himself, what next? And Costello just grabbing Bryden by the ankle and wrenched him right in the middle of the ring, in for the cover. He only gets a 1, however. So as I say, Darrell Costello has mainly been competing to the west of Scotland. He's been appearing in a couple of companies, but just sporadically, so he's not really had a long run anyway as of yet. And this crowd certainly haven't taken to him, must be said. He just knocked him by my forearm. One thing to note is that he has been associated with the W3L Women's Champion Emily Hayden. Not here in W3L, at least not as of yet. So choking Bryden on the ropes there. I think he's slowing him down, it seems. So I don't know if they'll bring that alliance into the Worldwide Wrestling League. It is possible, I suppose. I mean, Emily Hayden isn't here. She's not at ringside just now. She's going to have her hands full at Remedy, taking on Jayla Dark, the woman she defeated to win the Women's Championship back at Resolution, but can she retain against her? I mean, it took some questionable tactics for Emily Hayden to win the title in the first place, and you think Dark will be wise to what she's doing, so I guess we shall see. The crowd spurring on Taylor Bryden. Costello's got him in that headlock. Down with some jabs to the midsection, just makes the break. And takes a clothesline. The one thing about Darrell Costello is that he has trained alongside the Japanese wrestling star Atsushi Aoki, so you know his strikes will be on point. And he's definitely trying to train with the best people that he can. He's definitely doing everything he can to kick off his career in style. And to be fair, he's kind of held his own against Taylor Bryden, considering the experience deficit. Roll up here, Bryden a step ahead, but Costello kicking out. I mean, he's done fairly well. It's not been the pushover I think a lot of people were expecting, as Bryden's got him in the shoulders. Now we've seen him drop people from here, but Costello's got those ropes, referee getting in. Oh, and a backcracker. What a beautiful move. Costello got really high on that one, driving his knees right in the shoulder blades of Taylor Bryden, and doesn't quite get it. He rolled over for the cover. Good move by Darrell Costello. And I think a bit of frustration coming through. He needs to remain calm, because he's got this going his way. If he can stay on Bryden, he may get the victory here. And I don't know how that would change a Remedy. I think we'll still see Bryden versus Divers, but psychologically, where does that leave Taylor Bryden? Still just taking his time. Bryden, you can see he's sucking air. He's tired, he's exhausted. Forearm across the shoulders. And he just has him where he wants him, it looks like. There's a little kick to the ribs there. In this crowd, willing Taylor Bryden. Costello's not really endeared himself to the audience. He's got a bit of a superior attitude, a bit arrogant. But I guess you do whatever it takes to gain victories, right? And I mean, he has taken a beating in the match. He's obviously clutching at his back. So he's not at 100% right now, neither is Bryden. So Costello's maybe a bit slow with his offense than he might like. Snapmares him down. And Costello climbing the turnbuckles, it looks like. He's got in position for something. He's going to the top turnbuckle. What we're going to see here. The crowd do not like this. Costello's got Bryden prone. Oh, and he took way too long. As he came off, Bryden got his feet up and caught him right in the jaw. And the crowd liked that a lot. Costello moves out the way. And so there's Bryden who kicks him on the way in. So the thing about Bryden, a lot of folk don't realise just how good he actually is. He's always content just to let Divers do all the talking. But Bryden can hold his own. Launches Costello. Oh no, a reversal. Ducks on the clothesline. Oh, and hits that spinning heel kick. Well, I don't think he got as much as he would have liked. He only grazed him. He rolls over Costello. Hooks a leg, goes in for the cover here. Nets himself a 2 count. And maybe if he'd hit him flush, it might have been a different story, but I think Costello kind of moved out the way slightly. Didn't take that spinning heel kick quite as crisp as Bryden would have liked. Regardless, it's still done some damage, and Bryden's got a second win now. Burst of energy. He's got Remedy in his sights, he's got Divers in his sights. Costello fighting his way out. Going for it again. Oh, but Bryden held on. So got the full twice. And Costello lands badly. And a boot to the skull by Taylor Bryden. And that's going to leave Darrell Costello reeling. Bryden rolls over, hooks a leg again. And Costello kicking out. Not the strongest cover he could have made, but considering how much damage he's taken, certainly that backcracker earlier on, I think it was just basically Bryden doing whatever he could. It was the nearest way he could try and pin Darrell Costello. Didn't work out for him though. But Bryden now climbing the turnbuckles. And the referee, oh, getting pushed at the ropes. Now, Costello claiming it was inadvertent, but I mean, that's a judgment call. Putting your hands on the referee should be an automatic disqualification. It really should. What's Costello doing? He's hooked up Bryden by the ankles and drops him face first. You want to talk about being flatlined? That's going to end it, surely. Hooks both legs. Darrell Costello about to gain a massive victory. Oh no, Bryden kicks out. He was hung by his feet on the top rope, dropped face first down on the canvas, and that's an unforgiving ring, ladies and gentlemen. And he still kicks out. I thought Costello was going to net himself his first ever victory here in W3L. Costello arguing with the audience, saying it was a 3, but the audience don't decide whether it's a 3 count or not. It's between the referee counting and your opponent kicking out or not, as the case may be. Costello needs to stay on Bryden here. Oh, ducked. Roll up. Referee's in. Just a 1 though. Bryden's got him up. Oh, this could be dangerous. And down goes Darrell Costello, slammed hard on the canvas. Referee makes the count and scores the pinfall victory for Taylor Bryden. So a big victory for Taylor Bryden on the run up to Remedy. Darrell Costello was a very game competitor. Hopefully we'll see him back in W3L sometime soon. But Bryden gets the pinfall victory and he's marching on 20 days time to Dunfermline to take on Dickie Divers for the Wrestling Showdown Championship. This could be a taste of what's to come. It's Bryden versus Divers at Remedy. Do not miss it.
Taylor Bryden gains the victory there, and he has made his intentions clear about just what he's going to do to Dickie Divers when they meet one-on-one at Remedy with the Wrestling Showdown Championship at stake. It's one you do not want to miss, so make sure you come along to Dunfermline, February the 23rd, co-sponsored by Cushies. You will see that match, heavyweight title match, women's championship match, and so much more besides. The following day, we are in Linlithgow. It's going to be Lion versus Divers. Will there be a title on the line? Whose title? You'll find it then, because the tag belt's up for grabs as well. Then March 3rd, Galashiels, co-sponsored by the Border Boogie and Karaoke Bus. We're going to be seeing Lion versus Mackie in the return of the Galashiels Cup. All of our live events sponsored by our friends at Crafty Connoisseur. Look up all of our sponsors, tell them we said hello, show them some love, and make sure you get your tickets and come along to every single one of our live events. You can pick up tickets from our website. We're at W3LWrestling.com. Sign up to the mailing list while you're there as well. Some of the matches have announced in advance on the mailing list. So if you're on that, you'll find out what's happening ASAP. Then like us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Subscribe to the channel you're watching. One button click. That's all you need to do. Make sure you use the hashtag W3L Wrestling Showdown. Let us know who you think is going to win. Will it be Divers retaining the title? Will it be Bryden winning it? Let us know what's going to go on. Engage with W3L and come back in 7 days time. I'll be bringing you more news about our live events. We'll be one step closer to a Remedy, so ladies and gentlemen, don't miss it. I will see you in 7 days time for more Wrestling Showdown.